You ever wonder what happens when you give a baby zero attention?
Pretending they're doing their geeks, bro. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Well, doctors in the early 1900s saw exactly this.
Hey, how's that orphanage study going?
And the results? 90% of the infants under the age of 2 died. And the 10% who survived had periodic contact with a foster parent or relative. And even then, they still had severe developmental issues. Yes, I've been waiting. I have transcended the need for parental love, and suffering is the only path to wisdom.
Sir, you are only 2 months old.
And here we are today with a good portion of the population feeling alone. So if this kills an infant, what does it do to us? Well, let's start off with the science of social isolation. Starting off with the fact that it's similar to smoking 15 cigarettes a day and more dangerous than being obese. It weakens the immune system, increases stress, and obviously shortens the lifespan. Man, it must suck to be that guy.
Yeah, couldn't imagine that one.
It is better to have loved and lost than never to be loved at all. But losing a spouse increases your risk of death by 66% in the first 3 months. But hey, while the statistic is grim, it sure beats dying earlier from loneliness, right?
Hey, this is your health insurance. We heard your wife died.
Yeah, it's been hard.
Our condolences, but we gotta raise your rates significantly since you're now considered a high-risk group.
And then we have how modern society kills connections. Community hubs are done for. Want to go to the library to meet people? Well, ebooks are a thing, so you don't need to leave the house for your books anymore. Want to go shopping? We got online shopping at home. How about a movie? There's endless movie choices at home as well. Well, hey, there's still the bar and clubs. We all know that's the best place to ever find a good person, right? Definitely not like it's a hub to take drugs and have casual sex, right?
Hey man, let's go get some girls at the club.
Girls? I want to see men! Hey, get back here! And in regards to American society, it is isolating by design. The infrastructure to the mentality of the people. When I lived in America, I'd go for a walk and I'd see a few people I could talk to max. But now I'm in a major city in Malaysia that's walkable, and I can meet people within minutes from my house, even with English being less spoken than my home country.
Hey man, I'll take a number 5. What?
Bro, go order on the machine over there.
Okay?
The mentality is also very interesting. I would describe the American attitude as cold and skeptical. Not saying everyone's like that, and this could be because of my headspace when I was there, but it's a bit different. With the media pushing certain things like division, gender wars, and degeneracy, it's no surprise there's an aspect of distrust. The mentality of us versus them, or even the idea that you must take advantage of others or else they'll take advantage of you, seems to have seeped into the psyche of the country a bit. Oh great, there's a girl in front of me. I hope she doesn't get uncomfortable from me walking behind her. Wait a minute, I got an idea. Hey ma'am, can I get past you? I don't want— Oh, come on, bro. Growing up, the backyard of my house had no fences, but within a 20-year period, every house had a fenced backyard, which meant we didn't need one since our backyard became fenced in by force. As a child, my neighborhood used to be a community, but now it's just strangers. Is this growing up or a shift in society? I believe it to be the latter. People used to borrow sugar from their neighbors, and now I'd be surprised if the average person knows the name of their neighbor.
Hey Bob, can I borrow some milk?
Sure thing. Come on in, my wife baked some cake and we can have a slice with some coffee. Hey, can I borrow some sugar?
Leave it at the door.
What?
Leave the package at the door.
I was asking to borrow some sugar.
I got a call about a public disturbance.
Now onto some weird phenomenon of social isolation. In Japan, they have this thing called the Hikikomori for over a decade, which is a large chunk of young males completely dropping out of society and isolating themselves completely, and it's hitting the West, but instead it's called being a NEET, which if you don't know, Japan is heading towards a population collapse, which reminds me of the rat utopia study, which was a study where they created a perfect society for rats that eventually ended in them all dying. I mean, here's a side-by-side comparison of the two. So looking at stage 1, it can be seen across the world of birth rates being below replacement in most countries, so most countries are already one step in. Now stage 2, 50% of men between 18 to 20 are virgins and play countless hours of video games. Western countries have completed stage 2. Stage 3, when Gen Z is asked if they feel lonely, most say yes. About 50% of them report having anxiety, which is a clear indication of stage 3 becoming commonplace. And then we had the final stage, stage 4. I was the king of needs during the lockdown. I was on unemployment and I'd stay in my room and play video games all day. I became so isolated, even having to leave my room to go use the bathroom made me anxious. We're social animals and I forgot how to be human. And while stage 4 isn't yet commonplace, it can be seen on the horizon. Boy, it's sure crazy that they built those pyramids back then. So reconnecting with reality. Let me get rid of some nonsense excuses first. Some of you might say, oh, I'm just an introvert. And while I know the Myers-Briggs personality test isn't hard science, it's decent enough to use as an example. So my personality type is the INTJ, and simply put, it's the most introverted and debatably most misunderstood type. So if I say you should be social, it's definitely worth taking into consideration. Man, I should get out more.
Talking to people on video games is enough.
So I'm going to explain some basic social skills and show you that people want to be talked to through a recent experience I had. So I'm just going to say it. I've decided it's time for me to look for a wife. And I say wife because it's relevant to later in the story. So I walk the mall nearly every day. And there was a girl who worked at one of the stores I'd walk by, and I'd usually give her the very friendly INTJ death stare, which obviously didn't lead anywhere, but one day I decided to smile at her and she smiled back, which usually means that they're open to being approached. And I did, and I said, why are you wearing so many layers? Isn't it kind of hot for that?
Yeah, my workplace is exceptionally cold.
Alright, hold up. I gotta see this for myself. Wow, you're right. Hey, you think these shoes would look good on me?
Haha, I don't know about that one.
How about that dress? The next day comes around and I go on my walk again, and this time I grab 2 coffees. I walk up to her and give her one since she said she was cold the other day, so what's better than a hot drink? I sat next to her and we talked for a while, and she said I could sit right next to her, but I subtly denied the advance because she didn't meet my list of standards for what I'm looking for. If I was interested, I would have said something along the lines of, if you want to be that close to me, you're gonna have to move over here. But I didn't, nor did I grab her number since I have no intention of leading anyone on. So what's the point of this story? Well, you wanna know why I wasn't anxious at all? So I'm relatively secure in myself and I'm only getting better as the days go on. The way to become secure in yourself is quite simple on paper, but it's harder in action, but I'll give you the information and you do with it as you will. So first of all, be authentic. No reason to be anything else, since if you want to attract people like you, then you obviously want to be like yourself. Wow, cute dog.
Thanks, do you have one?
Oh yeah, definitely.
We should go on a dog date.
3 hours later.
Hey Tony, can I borrow your dog?
Why though?
Secondly, this is a physical reality, so treat it as such. Your physical body and appearance matter. Here's an old picture of me and here's me currently. Which one do you think gives me more security in my self-worth? On top of that, you gotta figure out these deeply ingrained negative beliefs, since you can be perfect and still be deeply insecure. I mean, you see it a lot in celebrities who are already extremely attractive, but then they go get cosmetic surgeries that make them look strange. The internal self-image has more power over you than your physical appearance ever will, but they can reinforce each other if done properly. Alright honey, I'm off to work. What the hell is even that? And the third one is having a benevolent nature. Well, I'm not saying I'm a saint or enlightened, but it's a goal of mine. So why is a benevolent nature important? Well, simply put, I don't have anything to hide. So when I talk to a girl, my only intention is to see if she matches what I'm looking for. I want nothing from them other than to know them.
So I was scuba diving in Hawaii.
Hey girl, are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see.
Anyways, you were saying?
Oh yeah. So I was scuba diving in Hawaii and this shark swam right up to me and I thought I was done for.
And another one is, I'm not outcome dependent. Truthfully, if they're meant to be in my life, then they will be. So if it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. I don't seek her approval because I don't care for her validation. So simply put, you can be extremely beautiful, but for me personally, it doesn't matter since my interest is more so in the person than the body.
Hey, I don't think this is going to work out.
Alright. Now the final one, I'm present. You can't be nervous in the moment. I mean, the feeling of nervousness is purely a form of future thought and dissociation. I said this in my last video, but it needs to be reinstated. Your mind can't tell the difference between imagination and reality, so oftentimes you'll imagine rejection and so you feel nervous. I did this to myself before. I was thinking about calling this girl and I assumed she wasn't going to answer the phone, so I was planning my voicemail. And so I called and she picked up and my scripted voicemail obviously wasn't applicable. Future thought isn't good, especially ones that are rejection based, so you can do the opposite of this, and if you need to, it'll push you to go where you want.
Yoshi's cute, bro.
Go approach her, bro. The worst you can say is no.
Alright, let's do this. Hey, Dad.
Well, I know this was centered on approaching women. It can be used just as much in the direction of making friends. Just make sure your friends are nothing like the people in this video right here.